a full tafsir blown presentation, so I didn't try to put all the Quran, all the Arabic in there, but it's there by, how can you say, by reference. Any case, we know the that picture. That picture. I put Abraham first. God says in the Quran, He says, "Who is it that rejects the religion of Abraham, but one who makes himself a fool?" Okay, so whatever Abraham was about, that was what not being a fool was about, right? Whatever Abraham was about, it was about education, right? Adam, Abraham, right? Adam is the beginning, Abraham is the end, right? Adam level 1, Abraham level 7. So that being the case, then I got to say it. The book that I was speaking to and about that I've fundamentally completed, it addresses the Isra wa Mi'raj, Adam, Jesus, John the Baptist, Yusuf, Idris, Aaron, Moses, Abraham. Those are the 7, correlated with the steps in Surah 23, ayah 12 through 14, from Sulalatin min teen through Anshaqnahu khalqan akhar, from the quintessence of clay up to another creature. That's 7. The another creature is actually Abraham. When you draw the parallel, the another creature of the 14th verse of the 23rd surah of the Quran is Abraham. And those two things also correlated with the cognitive stages of development of the human being. The human being has a potential, and that potential goes and grows by stages. Those stages are illustrated in that verse 23, 12 through 14, and they are also illustrated in the personifications of the prophets in the Isra wa Mi'raj, from Adam all the way up to Abraham. And so the top of our cognitive capacity, where we do those Einsteinian, or maybe even vibranium type stuff, that's natural for us as human beings. It is. It's natural for us if we get natural education in reality, education that respects that potential, education that respects that origin, and education that respects that destiny. How many teachers, when our students walk into that classroom, have that paradigm in their mind? When we sit our children in front of that teacher, does that teacher know and accept that inside of this human being is the knowledge of the nature of all things? Does that teacher have that in mind? And does that teacher have in mind that the capacity, that is the utility, capability, in its fullness, where it's available to be worked with consciously? Does that teacher know that it being available? I'm gonna slow down just a little bit. Stay right there. Here, we have a child learns how to walk, right? Child learns how to walk, right? We just love those first steps. It's like, they drop down, and then you pick them up and okay. They concentrate. Yeah, and we scare them to death, and they drop down again. It's like, what just happened, right? So, but then finally, now they can walk. You got to chase them around the house now. Come back here. I don't want to put my diaper on. They run away, right? But the point is that the capability dawned, the capability for walking, it dawned when they took their first step. Okay, there's their first step. And then in time, now they just walk. That's taken for granted. They just walk. How old are they? However old they are. You know, we have different standards, and we don't want to put one label on everybody, but I have different times that they start walking. But the point is, as a general rule, they're usually walking by 2 at least. I mean, otherwise we have some concerns. But the point is, so now they're walking. Okay, well, when did the capacity dawn? Let's say in this case that it dawns at a year, 13 months. So now they took their first steps or what have you. Boom. What does it mean? You can say, the child can walk. The child can walk. The rest of the things are going to come with just practice, experience, et cetera, and pretty soon walking becomes a totally unconscious skill. You don't have to think about walking no more. Once you say, oh, yeah, I don't even think about walking anymore. It's like, that's it. Okay, so that's how it is for every, same way with speech. There's a certain point at which speech is learned. But then they stop learning how to speak, they speak. And then speech just goes on and on and on. Okay? All right, and so many other skills, right? It started even with crawling, right? When crawling, there was certain turning over. You see, so different skills, different incremental skills get developed. Now, that's the point to go back to where I was before I turned around. The teacher, if the teacher doesn't know the potential of the student, and I'm not talking IQ right here. I'm just talking, when I say potential in this conversation, I mean the nature of possibilities to be unfolded. I mean, how much is in there? I mean, how much is in there? If the teacher doesn't know that there are 7 levels, and if the teacher doesn't know what each level is, quote unquote, when does it emerge? Let's call it. When does it emerge? When is it considered established? And what's next to emerge? And when is it considered established? See, this is what I'm saying. These are not the things that they teach in the School of Education of universities and what have you, to the extent that we don't have our own schools of education, meaning where we teach our teachers, where we educate our educators. We don't have that. So I'm saying also, this is not generally understood in the world of instruction, education, and what have you, which again is the reason why it's not going to happen until we do it, and it's not going to happen until we establish it upon the paradigm that I'm relating to you right. It's not necessarily just Faheem's. Well, what Faheem, we need to do what Faheem is saying. Maybe, maybe not, but you need to just look at it and say, okay, well, he's right here, but he needs to be augmented a little bit here. He's right here, but he needs to be qualified a little bit there. That's fine. We can have that conversation. But as generally speaking, until we understand the origins and the destiny, until we understand the potential and how they emerge and how they are established and how they set you up for the next movement, until you understand that, that's what education is. Education is knowing what's the first level, how do you nurture it to the second level, how do you know when the second level has been attained, and how do you know when the third level emerges, and then how do you educate for the third level in a way that's different than level 2, in a way that's different than level 1. That's what you have to, because that's your job as an educator. So I go back to my original statement. How many of our teachers that we set our children in front of know that, believe that, understand that, operate upon that? Just almost zero. At large, almost zero. And, I ain't trying to make you worried or sad or anxious or whatever. It's like people survive education. They go in, they come out, and they educate. They get good jobs. They're good people. They're not bad people, etc. But here's the point. We still don't have what God means for us to have until we get it like that. God means for us to have more. He's not just trying to get us to have good jobs, live in good zip codes, have good credit, and all those things are included in education in reality. Get it, have it, seek what the means that God has made available to your life hereafter. but don't forget your share of this material world. Who is it that is forbidden to my servants the excellent things in this world? It's for them in this world and for them exclusively in the world that comes hereafter. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسْنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسْنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us the excellent things in this world, the excellent things in the world to come. Save us from chastisement of fire. See, that's the problem with the other Islamic education thing. La dunya, la dunya. I don't want none of the dunya. You know, well, you back in the church. You could take all this world, just give me Jesus. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Why build up your treasures on earth and they be broken in and stolen by thieves, but store up your treasures with the Lord? No. I like what the Imam, is it Masjid Ibrahim that's in here? In Houston? Ibrahim Islamic Center. Imam Khalis, Imam Khalis. Yeah, I think last time we were here, he said, well, look, I'm gonna be doing dhikr on one. I'm gonna doing dhikr on one hand and dollars on the other, something like that. It's like yeah, I get it. Right? Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. You know, it's like that's what's up. You know what? Other folks don't want you. That's the split. They want you to be split-minded, schizophrenic about money. You know. Shoot, you better get you some money. You just watch that next envelope when it come in the mail. Them colors start changing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know about color changing envelopes, right? The regular bill come in white. The overdue bill might look pink or something. It's like, oh, okay, I need some money. So let me get back on this. So now. The real point that I was approaching at the point when going back to get that context, that the arrival of the capacity to do Einstein-like, since he's the one that we most seen, Brainiac, you know, Stephen Hawking, whoever else, to do Einstein-like thinking, just like the first step of a baby, move that up to the first step of highest order thinking for a human, the first steps. In human terms, in education and reality, that is to be achieved around 15 or 16 years old. I'm talking about Allah's design. In Allah's design, you ain't got to wait to be 30 years old to start thinking like you're really a thinker. Yes, if you've been quote unquote educated by this world, because they've led you to think that you're not supposed to think about those things till you get much older. Why? Because the education in this world is also a business. So things that you can learn in 2 weeks, they want you to take 2 semesters. Why? Because we get paid on average daily attendance. Long as we got butts in the seats, we're going to get our money from the state. And then when you go on to further education, we got to have a curriculum and stretch the curriculum out. Why? So we can keep getting that money. The money that we get from whoever we get that money from, the longer we have you here, that's it. To do what? Learn stuff I could have learned in 2 weeks, and with the right method, I could probably learn in 2 days. And then I just have to practice. So I'm saying in the formal sense, the highest order of thinking possible for human beings, meaning the arrival of that capacity, the first steps. Do y'all understand that when I say what I'm trying to say in terms of the first steps? Because I'm saying it doesn't mean that they're thinking like Einstein at 15, 16. Just like, the child is not running like Jesse Owens at a year and a half, but the wherewithal to ultimately run like Jesse Owens because they can walk, it arrived when they were a year and a half. And I'm saying that also about the highest scientific thinking, that capacity, those first cognitive steps at that level of thinking, when nurtured naturally or through education in reality, that arrives at 15 or 16